Group 1 Week, and today our topic is spiritual leadership.
My name is Tian Ruijie.
My name is Zhao Yubo.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Wang Yijie.
I'm Tommy Nang.
I'm Zhou Jian.
In this presentation, we will talk about the introduction to Martin Luther King, the theory about spiritual leadership, how did Mr. King demonstrate spiritual leadership, and how can we apply it in our daily life.
Everyone, let me tell you something about Martin Luther King. Here is something about his overview. Martin Luther King is one of the most influential leaders of 20 years who devoted himself to fighting for social justice and equality, which is both his goal and his career. His best known for his role in the advancement of civil rights by taking non-violent ways to face out his racial equality beliefs. Due to his combating racial inequality using non-violent ways, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize on October 40, 1964. The Civil Rights Movement. Martin Luther King led African slaves to protest against racial segregation and discriminations. As a non-violent protest, the Civil Rights Movement broke the pattern of public facilities being segregated by race in the South and have a breakthrough in equal rights legislation for African Americans. King organized and led marches for black rights toward segregation, labor rights, and other basic civil rights. And most of these rights were successfully enacted into the law of the United States with passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. The Montgomery bus boycott. Bus boycott was a civil rights protest during which African Americans refused to ride city bus in Montgomery, Alabama to protest segregated city. The boycott took place from December 5, 1955 to December 20, 1956, and it is regarded as the first large-scale U.S. demonstration against segregation. 4 days before the boycott began, Rosa Parks, an African American woman, was arrested and fed because she refused to yield his trust seat to a white man. The U.S. Supreme Court ultimately ordered Montgomery to integrate its bus system, and one of the leaders of this system was the boycott. A young pastor named Martin Luther King emerged as a prominent leader of the American Civil Rights Movement. One of its most typical speeches is "What I Have a Dream." Martin Luther King once delivered a speech named "I Have a Dream" in the March on which the Olympic and calling for social equality and freedom. It turned out to be a monument event in the American history. Let us see a video about this speech. What has been like his main weakness, which he was facing at the time he was fighting for the rights of others, is fear. At one point in his life, King decided that he would allow fear to overcome him and back up his protest.
In the following, I would like to introduce the theory about the spiritual leadership. Spiritual leadership is about intrinsically motivate oneself and others so that they can have a sense of spiritual survival through calling and membership, which enable people to feel energetic and alive. Spiritual leadership can basically brought by creating a vision wherein the organization member experience a sense of calling. Secondly, it can brought by establishing a social organizational culture based on the altruistic love to produce a sense of membership, to be understood and appreciated. Basically, the 3 elements in spiritual leadership is creating a vision. Second is providing hope and faith to members. The third one is having altruistic love to members. Creating vision is referred to giving the picture and provide the reason why people should strive to create a future. energize people and giving meaning to their work. Under vision is most important thing is sense of calling. It's giving oneself a sense of making a difference, therefore they can create the meaning of life. And also it can create a clear, compelling vision and task enforcement will give them the sense of calling. For example, the vision of Microsoft, a computer on every desk in every home. It creates a great goal that reflects a high ideal and given a meaning to work, which then motivate their staff to work by encouraging them to believe what they believe. And also, hope and faith will provide the desire and positive expectation that the field evolve through intrinsic motivation, the willing to face opposite and endure hardship and suffering to achieve their goal. For example, with hope and faith in the company vision, the staff can make a great computer that everyone can use it. They can mobilize to work for this goal even they encounter lots of difficulties. The third one, altruistic love, is divine the harmony through care, concern, and appreciation for both self and others. Also, the receiver and the organization can pursue a common goal. Under altruistic love, a sense of membership is most important that it can give oneself the awareness of being understood and appreciated. For example, member in the sport team that can devote themselves for the team for fighting for the membership title for the inter-school competition. They can appreciate for the hard work. For the interrelationship between the three elements, faith and hope and vision can invoke a desire and a perseverance to pursue the vision. Altruistic love between the organization and the participant can help the individual to feel a sense of membership in that they can be understood and appreciated, in which in turn fits the hope and faith of the company. 好似都好長喎。
我都可以再講多次嗰一 part 嘅，我可以唔使講喺 table 都 OK 啊。However, there are limitation of the model as Western and Eastern have different culture and therefore the leadership has difference. For this model, it is love-leaded, customer-obsessed, intrinsically motivated, and power-team-based, and also flat in structure, also flexible in capability, diverse, and networked. For example, in Korean, it is affected by the Confucianism, which influenced the organization to be high centralized, authoritarian leadership, absolute power, unquestioned loyalty, and lack of delegation, and motivated by fear. And also in the 1890s, the leaders has the practice of favoritism and nepotism, and therefore, when subordinates perceive leaders as oppressive, they will be driven by self-interest, hence would disrupt the harmony within the organization and lead to the labor disputes and civil unrest. However, the Korean firms had overcome the hierarchical constraints through the extensive use of task force team and specialized committees, empowering group members and delegating authority, which means flattening structure. And also, there are some advantages of combining Korean culture into the spiritual leadership. For example, in Vision, the Samanistic belief that hard work and assertiveness can facilitate the realization of one's ambitions also underlies the visioning process in Korea. Leaders and followers can achieve the vision through hard work, determination, and perseverance, which are characteristic of shamanistic belief. For hope and faith, Korea's strong in-group collectivism cooperate with hope and faith within spiritual leadership motivates participants to subjugate individual ambitions and desire for the effectiveness of the group. For altruistic love, the Confucianism and its emphasis on harmony, mutual loyalty, and reciprocal obligations between superior and subordinates is give the sense of membership to the leader and followers. And also, the concept of Zhong has helped bridge the psychological gap between different individuals motivated by self-interest. And this is the end of part B.
Hello everyone, here comes to part C. How did Dr. King demonstrate spiritual leadership? In a speech, Dr. King called for the freedom and equality among all races. A painted future picture was shown to the audience, which were the African American people. Clear computing vision of the civil rights movement is shown, which is equality among all races, which might create a sense of calling among the African American community, as their work is very meaningful. His visionary speech had encouraged the hope and faith in the American African community, as they believed that Dr. King could lead them to make their dream come true. The second, hope and faith, they also be reflected in the I Have Dream speech. Hope and faith keep people looking forward to the future and provide desire and positive expectations that fuels effort through instinctive motivation. Dr. King instructed his listeners to persevere with the faith we will be able to work together, pray together, to struggle, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This sweltering summer of the Negro's mission disconnect will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn for freedom and equality. Through using language that exudes feelings of freedom, this allows for an expectation of reward and victory. The third is altruistic love. This is reflected in Montgomery bus boycott. As we all know, altruistic love focuses on care and concern to others. As a leader, Dr. King shows his concern to the followers so that the followers were given more sense of identity and recognition. At the Montgomery bus boycott, Dr. King addressed the working class regularly and tried to listen to and learn from those who were sacrificing most so that the boycott could continue. During the boycott, he set up an intricate carpooling system that allows residents to get the transportation they needed, which unified the community, and casual acquaintances began to spread significant time. In this incident, caring and humility characteristics of Dr. King showed his altruistic love. A culture based on altruistic love also called participants to understand each other's and appreciate other effort made on the boycott despite their relatively poor social status, and give them a sense of identity. And let us think about the question, does Dr. King totally fit into the model? Not all. Dr. King understood the importance of justice and witnessed the suffering and grievance of the black under oppression. He then initiated those movements which helped the black to strive for their civil rights. We should know that he is not the one who creates, but who ignites the blazing fuse. He gave a clear direction. Dr. King was not the one who gave his followers the initial movement motivation. Indeed, the desire for civil rights were from their deepest part of their heart. Otherwise, those protests and movements would not have succeeded if the African American community did not want to stand up for their right. Dr. King, as a leader, gave a sense of direction to people involved with unplumbed passion for justice through his speeches. He further gave his followers hope and faith as they have a clear direction to fight for. He and his followers also experienced altruistic love from each other. He only strengthened his followers' faith by leading them, and hence fostered the intrinsic cycle. Thank you. My part is over.
The king spread his spirit not only in community but also in his family. He used to say to his children like this: "I'm going to work and do everything that I can do to see that you get a good education. I don't ever want you to forget that there are millions of God's children who will not and cannot get a good education. And I don't want you feeling that you are better than they are. For you will never be what you ought to be until they are what they ought to be." In his words, we can find him not only possess great spirituality, but also try to teach his children to be a selfless, visionary one, and his behavior embodies his vision and faith in return. We can say that Dr. Martin Luther King lived a better education for his family because he knows only the educated people can have ability to fight or speak out what they ought to fight for. For this reason, his family always speak out what they ought to fight for and owns a high social status while they are speaking out to some social issues. However, focused on this issue, I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King still has something to improve. Since Martin Luther King passed away by the assassination, the faith can only mentally support his family to continue his mental legacy, but not physically support whenever a hardship appears. In that case, it may be very hard for his family to stick to his faith in hard time. Maybe we can find some little force in his way to motivate his families to be a person like him. But without doubt, almost all his family members do well in holding Martin Luther King's spirituality and speaking out for the public. His religious experience is also important in his life. From 1954 until 1916, Martin Luther King was the pastor of the Dexter Avenue King Memorial Church, the only church where Martin Luther King pastored and the site where he began the civil rights activism. So, how religious experience influenced the life of Dr. Martin Luther King? First, Dr. Martin Luther King didn't do very great things as a Christian minister compared with his contribution in fighting for social equality, but this religious experience fully made his spirituality. First, his religious belief gets him know the meaning of faith. Second, in his experience of communicating with people in his spreading out religious belief, he learned how important it is to connect with other people, and altruistic love is a necessity for a leader. Above all, both the religious learning and talking with public grow him a good leader with vision. Now let me.
How can we apply this leadership in our daily life? First of all, I will introduce two methods for you. One is being empathetic and the other one is being optimistic. First of all, what is empathetic? It means you need to understand what they have to think. For example, empathy is that you are showing your understanding of someone, you are helping that, and then you know what they have, what they need, and then you help them from their aspect. You may think that empathy is like sympathy, however they are different, because sympathy is means that you know they are very sad, they are in the handicap, however you would think toward them, however you would not give suggestion in their aspect. However, empathy is an another level. I think empathy is a high level of sympathy because you need to understand what they think and then help them by knowing them and then give them the solution, give them the method to address these troubles they face. I think the key is you need to put yourself in their shoes. That's why you can help you to achieve that. You are being empathetic to everybody. Maybe I share an example of this. In the before, when I'm in primary school, I go to the Chen Yun, this very poor village in China, and then I don't even remember that their children need to come from their school, from their home, need take around 2 hours or 3 hours. In the before, you know some TV festival or some TV show, you think that oh they are so sad and you like to donate some money to them. However, if you are really like a role play and then you walk around 2 or 3 hours, you will realize that they are so sad. However, in that situation, you will know that oh yes, they are sad and then I'm equal to him because I'm also is a role of walking from 1, 2 to 3 hours. At this moment, I know that I cannot take everything for granted. I need to treasure what I want because in Hong Kong, we do not even to imagine that we need to go to school by walking those roads by around 3 hours. We just need to take an MTR or bus. It's so easy. So I think we need to treasure of them, and then after the process, we will know we cannot take it for granted. We need to reflect on ourselves. We need to treasure what they we have. And finally, after this process, I realized that it's time consuming because when you are watching the TV show, you just need to open the TV and then you say that. However, if you are entered to know more being empathetic, you need to time consuming because you need to go around to understand what they want and what they think. This also is taking your time. Also, you think hopelessness. That's what I said before when I'm working with them, and then I think I can do nothing with them because I cannot help them because I just cannot repair the role for them, and then I'm feeling sad. So this is the cause of being the empathetic. But I think this is meaningful because for the first aspect we can help for ourselves, it should be a sense of satisfaction. Because when I see something really helpful for yourself, I can really help them. Maybe I just give them a happy face, I give them a happy emotion. This is so enough to me. And the second point should be you can meaning your communication. Maybe you will have a free rider in your project. However, you will think that free rider is just free ride yourself. However, if you are being empathetic, you will know that you will help them from that aspect, maybe help them to debug in some flaws or help them to make up some components. So I think being empathy is a aspect or the fundamental of being a good leader. The second one is that being optimistic. In fact, in our daily life, we have a those cycle. We feel depression, we feel happy. This is our emotion because we feel troublesome maybe in your learning or in your relationship between your friends or even your girlfriends. Oh, that's why you have your emotion. But the key is how to escape those sadness or depression to become optimistic is the key. Have you heard about this story, a half of a water? You may think that, oh, this a half of water, you will feel pessimistic. However, if you're being optimistic, you think that at least I have a half of a water. So I think after this, you will know that we need to treasure, we need to be positive of what are we think of this. And the second point is that being optimistic, you need to reflect on yourself. You're making something wrong no matter in your learning or in your process, you need to correct it, and then you think that, oh, what can I type it and correct it? Because your best teacher is your last mistake. Also, another key is that if you are being confident, you will think that I have the power, I can control what they think, I can control what the situation is. This is a way to help you become optimistic because if you think that you have a power, you can cross over all the handicap, you will not to struggle in the low depression area, and then you can easily to develop a road for setting up a goal, setting up a plan to become optimistic. Maybe I give you an example of that. If you are planning to set a perfect plan, maybe in the A time you take blah blah blah, B time you do blah blah blah, C time you do blah blah blah. That's perfect, that's good. But however, you will see some troublesome because maybe there is some accident here and then your process will be totally interfaced because this is interdependence. You cannot to expect what there is a situation, so you may not have time to address it. But this also being optimistic is good because you will never give up because you will try yourself to be best. Then Naruto, you want to train the role. Finally, he succeed. And being an optimistic leader, maybe the first level is being positive. You may think positive. The second one, if you wanted to become middle, maybe you have a little bit increased, you will think that you will have a hope because you have a hope in Naruto to help the role, help the ninja. This is a way for you to achieve it and become a good leader. And the third one is like Martin Luther King said, you want to influence all the people who have a belief and to respond to another one, respect another. So that's why Martin Luther King helped them to fight for the freedom. It's about how to become a good leader because the at least, maybe not at least, it's just about being a good leader in this leadership should be respectable to another. This is the end of our group presentation. Thank you.